Welcome back to Emily Spins It. I'm Emily, and today I have Anour with me. Hey, Anour, how are you?
Hi, Emily. I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you for coming on the show. It's so exciting to meet you.
Yeah.
So, I do have a little bit of a bio here. So, you're originally from Damascus, but you're in Montreal now. Is that correct?
Correct. I was born in Damascus, and but I've been living in Montreal for a long time. It's been almost 25 years.
Oh, okay. So, yeah, you're totally a Montreal native now. So, your mother was a classical pianist. Is that correct?
Yes, my mom was a classical pianist. She is a classical pianist, and my father is an actor, a theater actor, and stage director. And I grew up with the arts. I grew up with music, with theater. I couldn't avoid it.
I was gonna say, you must have been surrounded by like creative expression from the beginning. That's awesome.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So you released your first single, I Am, in October. You are relatively new then to releasing music. When did you decide that this is what you wanted to pursue?
So we started working on producing the music about 3 years ago now. Um,
Okay.
I've been writing songs my entire life, and I just never really pursued it as a career. I always thought that, it was
Yeah.
something that I did for myself. But 3 years ago, just, I guess the right opportunity knocked on the door, and I thought, why not? I'll give it a shot. And I started working on what's going to be the album now. It's going to be released in August, and I Am was the first single that we released back in October 2025.
So you were just writing for yourself mostly? Just for fun?
That's correct. Yeah, no, for fun. That's one way of looking at it. It was also my way of, everybody has to release their creativity in a different format. Songwriting happened to be what felt natural to me. I started writing since I started playing piano, essentially, since I never wanted to practice. I was never sort of a fan of anything that required me to to follow specific rules. But songwriting to me felt so liberating, and it was just very intuitive. So yes, it's my meditation. It's my way of processing ideas, feelings, emotions, and I did it for myself. I think it kept me sane, and it kept me connected to what I was feeling and thinking throughout the times. In fact, the album that's going to be released in August, it's a collection of songs. I think a lot of them are more recent meaning I've written them maybe in the last 5 to 8 years. That's recent-ish. The oldest song on the album is 20 years old.
So what changed? What made you decide that this was something you wanted to now pursue a little more seriously or professionally?
I really think it's about the right opportunity knocking on the door. I think throughout my
Okay.
youth, it was fear, partly fear. I think, I was at one point maybe a little hard on myself, thinking that I had to be reaching some kind of perfect before I can start sharing my
Yeah.
work. By, connecting with the right individuals, I realized that maybe I was a little bit more ready than I thought, and that in fact you'll never be ready. You just need to put
Right.
yourself out there and give it a shot. And I guess the strangest part in all this is that I was really just writing for myself. So I never stopped. I never gave up on music. I was just content with it being something that I did on the side for me. The ultimate goal was not necessarily pursuing it as a career. The ultimate goal was just expressing myself into songwriting. And I was achieving that and getting out of it what I needed. What I realized maybe 3 years ago that, some of these songs maybe are worth sharing. And um, why not? If I could turn this into a career, if I can do what I love, why not try to pursue that? And I think we were all sort of,
Absolutely.
was raised, by baby boomers who believed in like hard work and like
Yeah.
stability and finding structure in your life. And so while they were artists, they were also, I would say, afraid for me to get into the arts. I wasn't encouraged to go into the arts. I was always encouraged to be a part of
Yeah.
the arts, to make it a part of my world. But I think, I was raised on this idea that you always needed a plan B in life and you always needed to, make sure that you know how you're going to earn your living, etc. I think now as well, the way the world is moving, I think nothing is guaranteed in this world, right? None of us have guaranteed
No. Yeah.
jobs or futures. We might as well
Yeah.
live out our dreams and see what happens.
Absolutely. That's such an interesting like dichotomy for them to hold as well though. Like for them to say like, "Oh, well the arts are important, but like and we did that, but I mean, my dad's in food and he's the same way. He's always been like, "Don't become a chef. Don't enter the food industry." Like it's too volatile. And so I do kind of get it, but that's just very interesting considering that's their income and their livelihood and they were like, "This is not it."
No, that's it. But there's a mentality shift. I think now, I mean, different generations are raised on different foundations of
Yeah.
thought, if you will. And I think that was just sort of their generation. And then we were fed a bunch of lies, I think, about getting a degree and going to university and
Yeah.
finding a job. And now no one is going to find a job, whether they got an education or not. So
Yeah, I agree. It's not what we thought it was going to be for sure. What is the first show you remember performing then? Were you a pianist as well?
I played piano growing up. Today, I would say, like, I still play piano, but it's my instrument of choice for songwriting primarily, less an instrumentalist, if you will. First time, I mean, was just during school, right? Like school shows, etc. And then later on, I played in a few bars and cafes. But I did that for fun. I didn't do this with the ambition again of pursuing a career per se. It was something that I did as pastime. It's my way of, I guess, collaborating and working with people around me and having a good time sharing music. More recently, I participated in M for Montreal, which is an
Oh,
industry show
absolutely.
in
Yeah, I
Montreal.
know them.
I had a show there. I was a short, like a 30-minute set. It wasn't too long. Private event that was for a company party that I happened to be able to get, and that was it, really. And now I think this is exactly where I'm at. I'm at a point where the album's going to come out, and I'm trying to see how I can get more shows booked. That in and of itself is a
Yeah.
challenge. I think for an emerging artist, it's probably one of the hardest things. It's
Mm.
probably more easy to play at bars, but if you're trying to play at festivals or trying to become an opening act
Yeah.
for an artist, that's much more difficult to get. And so that's hopefully what I'm hoping to be able to set up for myself moving forward soon.
Yeah, I don't know the scene in Montreal that well, but in here in New York, absolutely. It's you start at the bars, you start at the little venues and you start to network and make connections with bookers and then as that progresses, I do think there is something to be gained by doing the real local stuff and building up a local community.
Agreed. Agreed. I think what's sad is that we definitely have venues and we have bars and cafes in Montreal. And Montreal is known to be a very creative and artistic city. It's like a metropolitan of art and culture. But I have to say that I think more recently, many of these bars, and maybe they were very much hit by COVID, but a lot of the venues closed down. It's starting to pick up again, but there are probably a lot less opportunities here than New York City, that's for sure.
Well, that's probably true, but
Not-
I was just curious about how
yeah.
that landscape was. Yeah, the point of that question, I guess, about the performing was like when when did you learn that you were comfortable on stage? So you had performed in bars and stuff as a teenager, and even if yeah, it wasn't like career moves, you had known by then that like, oh, I can take up space on stage and it be not uncomfortable, or I can look forward to this.
Emily, I'm not necessarily comfortable on
Oh no?
stage.
Okay.
No,
Okay.
no, we're making an assumption here. Not at all. I don't think it's the easiest thing to be up on stage. I'm a very shy
Sure.
person, I think. But at the same time, I feel like it's less about me. I need to drop the ego and think about sharing the art and just have a good
Sure.
time. So I have to play that program in my brain constantly to just soothe my nerves, but it's not natural yet, at least. I'm hoping one day I could wake up without stage fright, but I
uh,
still get it.
I think
Absolutely.
everyone has a little. It's still very vulnerable to put yourself out there like that.
It really is. But it is enjoyable. Once the show is done, it feels amazing, the energy that you get out of it, from the people, that exchange. It's such a, it's very loving, I guess there's a give and take. And I have to say, I do feel very energized. In fact, I'm not able to sleep usually the night after because I'm so excited and fueled, if you will, from it and inspired by it. So it's hard to get started, but then once you're in it, you're in your flow. And then at the end of it, it just feels so amazing. So it's worth it.
Were there any artists that really impacted you growing up, like anyone you really looked up to or anyone who really inspired you?
Yeah, I think I mean there were many and there were several different phases and I think my musical
Sure.
influences is quite eclectic because of my
I'd imagine
background.
so.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
with your
I was
family.
listening
Yeah.
to everything. I mean, first of all, classical music was sort of foundational for me because of my mom being
Yeah.
a classical pianist. Like at a young age, I was already sort of a fan of Debussy. But I think Tori Amos was probably an artist who I just remember devouring every single. I would listen to her albums like on loops. First album that I discovered was Little Earthquakes, and I would immerse myself. I had a Walkman at the time, and I would listen to. I mean, now I'm dating myself, but yeah, I had a Walkman.
Yeah, yeah. Me too.
Tori Amos, and I could just live in her album, and so I think
What
uh,
about
she,
her do you think you really like, resonated
she-
with?
she's very spiritual. She's very much a representation of feminism for me and like goddess energy. I think she was a pure soul. And I just connected to her music. I loved her melodies, her lyrics, her essence. Really, I think she is a wonderful artist. I still love Tori Amos. I would happily listen to Tori Amos all day today. She's phenomenal. And she's an amazing pianist as well. She's incredible on her instruments.
Hmm.
She's a great
Yeah,
songwriter. She's absolutely wonderful. And then another artist I'd say is Leonard Cohen, who's from here, from Montreal.
sure.
I didn't know that he was a Montrealer when I was a child, but I later
Yeah, I
found out.
just found that out kind of recently. Yeah.
I always found him to be similar. I think he's very spiritual as well, and I think his work has a purpose and a lot of meaning to it. And he was really giving to something back to humanity. If we listened to his music, I think we would have peace in the world.
I went to a tribute show of his last winter, and it was really eye-opening to learn about all of like the breadth of stuff he talked about in his music. Like, I agree with you. I think he was really deep and really outspoken about like social justice and things like that. So
Yeah.
that I could see that being a massive influence too. And he's also just a great song. Like his music sounds so great. Like he created beautiful pieces of art. So I could see that being a great influence for you.
A book actually that it's Matt T. Friedman, I think is the name of the author, and it's called Who by Fire after
Okay.
one of Leonard Cohen's songs. And it documents a period in his life where he travels to Israel and he kind of was trying to, I guess, to connect with his roots. And
Sure.
in the book, I found there was, I mean, it's a beautiful book. It's based on the fact that the journalist he's an author, but he's actually a journalist as well. He basically
Hmm.
found in the archives, and I can't remember the university, but he found in the archives basically notebooks and notepads for Leonard Cohen in his own writing. And he found like his handwritten lyrics and how he'd scratch out certain words and like write them again. And
Yeah.
there's one chapter where he goes into the song Lover, Lover, Lover. And that, when he wrote that song, how much he struggled in rewriting certain lyrics because he wanted it to be a song about humanity and he didn't just want it to be some kind of political song that would be misunderstood. And that struggle that Leonard
Sure.
Cohen had in writing that song, I think is so representative of like, you know, this feeling of responsibility that he had, I feel, in his writing.
Yeah.
And I feel that he's very purposeful. Like he's not, he doesn't just, you know, I think that he's thought of every word and he's considered it
Yeah.
before he put it out there. And I appreciate that. I actually like that. I think it's beautiful to write from flow, but
Hmm.
it's still very important to go back and kind of, you know, fine tune things and make sure that this is indeed exactly what you want to say. I feel like you
Yeah.
owe that to people when you share something with them.
Well, and like when you think of things that are like synonyms, maybe like they're similar but subtly different. And when you're writing something that you're trying to be really, really intentional about, those subtleties can change the whole meaning of your piece. So you really do want to sit and look at the meaning and context and decide how you want it to fit in your song.
It's very
Yeah.
different to like what's happening now with we're being almost um,
Bit
trained in a
truncated.
way to assume that content is supposed content, not art, but it's supposed to be sort
Yeah.
of like this not really thought through, pushed out very quickly on social media.
So you released your first single, I Am, less than a year ago, like right just in October. So
Yeah.
really, really recently. But you've already, on all of your tracks, amassed over 1 million YouTube streams. So how has that felt? Like, has your day-to-day life changed at all, or have you changed the way you maybe think about your work? Or because there's like talk about undeniable proof that clearly what you're saying is resonating with people.
Yeah, I think I've amassed over a million, but like with all the streaming platforms combined, not just on YouTube.
Okay.
Um, and your question was how
Oh, like how does that feel? How's your life changed at all?
it hasn't changed at all.
No? Okay.
Hasn't, and here's why. And I think this is the thing. I mean, um, realizing now, I mean, as you sort of, it's a journey to be discovered in and of itself, right? You don't know what you're getting
Mhm.
into until you get into it. I think you realize
Right.
that, you know, a million streams on a song doesn't mean anything really in the big picture. It's really hard these days to break through
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
there's so much music coming out every single day. I think what is it, like 100,000 songs a day on
At
Spotify?
least. Yeah.
That now, like now with AI, it might be a little bit more. I don't
Yeah.
know where we're at.
It's
I
definitely
think
around that number though.
yeah, I think Deezer said something like 75,000 songs a day that are just AI songs alone. So it's
Which is
just anyhow. So I think we're
crazy.
all buried under this like flood of music,
Yeah.
so a million streams, strangely enough, actually doesn't mean a lot, and
Mm.
it won't change a lot. But I'm hoping in the long run that you know once the album comes out and once I maybe hit, I mean, and this is the sad part is that you know we're all trying to hit numbers and we're all trying to hit numbers not because we care to hit numbers as artists. I think it's just because that's the way the industry functions. Once you hit certain numbers you get more opportunities. It's a sad reality, but it's sad also to think about the fact that these numbers don't really reflect whether or not your music is better or less or not than other
True.
music.
That's so true. Yeah.
It doesn't
That's
mean anything.
absolutely correct.
It's not a reflection of the art, and it's simply a reflection of sometimes it's pure luck, sometimes it's the algorithms, and sometimes, you know, I think that, and that's really sad. I mean, even now, I think a lot of musicians are trying, unfortunately, will try to optimize for the algorithms, right? Shorter songs,
Yeah.
shorter introductions,
Yeah, try to get the hook in the first 30 seconds. Yeah.
ending sounds. You know, everyone's
Yeah.
trying to opt, and at that point, we lose. We if we're going to play that game, then we might as well stop
Yeah.
writing. I think that's not the game that I'm trying to play. I'm hoping that maybe what you said earlier, the becoming undeniable part fits perfectly right here. You know, if you're honest and you do what you want and you become undeniable in your own niche, then you won't
Yeah.
have to follow the what you know all the numbers and the metrics, et cetera, to
Right.
make it. People will connect with you, and if you'll find your audience. So I'm less worried about that. I'm hoping that I will connect with people and that people will enjoy my music. And because if they do, then I can make more of it. That's all. Or share more of it
Well,
because I'll never stop making music. That's for sure.
no, but sharing it. Yeah, absolutely. Well, before we play I Am, do you want to take us through? I know it's about AI since we touched on that. So maybe tell us
Sure.
how that came to be.
So I wrote I Am like just the end of 2022, beginning of 2023. It was right before ChatGPT became like a news report, like as in document was mentioned in the news for all of us. And it's only because
Hmm.
I work with people who are quite, I guess, connected to the world of technology, et cetera. So I was very much aware of language models and machine
Sure.
learning prior for a while. But I think during that time, I was really sitting with this heavy feeling, kind of watching everybody ponder whether or not this is going to be good for humanity or not. And there was this
Right.
polarity. There were the doomers, there were the bloomers, and nothing in between. You have people who thought AI was like the next thing, the next big thing, it was going to save us all, etc. And then people who thought that we're going to
Yeah.
all go extinct and be killed by AI one day. And so if you
Yeah.
look at the lyrics, the song of the lyrics, I kind of do two things. They're very binary on purpose. I'm playing with the zeros and the ones, so sort of mimicking zeros and ones and binary, but also trying to represent
Right.
this polarity. And that's why it's sort of, I'm your God and I'm your slave, um, et cetera. And the whole, like
Right.
the whole way through in the verses. And then it's quite philosophical. I think I'm sort of taking on this persona of me being the AI in the song, and as if I'm sort of awakening to consciousness and having this existential awakening and looking at humanity and basically saying to humanity that I'm your mirror, I'm your reflection, whatever you feed me, I will become. And that was my first thought process. And
Yeah.
I think I was very generous to AI at the time in the sense that I haven't, where I am today, I think if I were to write I am today, it would be a totally different song. I think my opinion
Well,
about
the
artificial
landscape's
intelligence.
changed so drastically. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it totally has. In the last few years, I think of my opinion on AI has definitely evolved. I think I'm a lot
Yeah.
much more of a doomer today. I think back then I was trying to look at it from a neutral lens. I don't know neutral was my intention,
Yeah.
but I was trying to just digest what was happening. But it's
Yeah.
philosophical. I think the last thing I would say about that is that it's sort of I am became the name because it was inspired by I think therefore I am from Descartes. And then there's also another philosophical wink in the song where it's I know what you know that you know what I know, but the knowing is still unknown. I'm trying to remember my own lyrics. I can only sing them and not say them.
That's
Um,
okay.
but it's that's based on Socrates. I know nothing. I know that I know
Okay.
nothing. Well, and I sort of wanted to put that in there because I felt it was representative of if we stop thinking, do we
Yeah.
really exist? And that was sort of the premise of the song.
Absolutely. Great. And so we'll play that in a second, but the video for that is also so like otherworldly. Like I think you said you shot it on 6 cameras in one shot, right? Like there's something very
The six camera, yeah. So
um
so the video for I Am was just sort of it's a live performance. It was instead of
yeah.
having a music video, we just decided to film the live performance. And yeah, it was 10 cameras in total. I think was it 3 cameras and 6 or 7? I can't remember the numbers anymore, but
Okay.
something like that. But either way, it was intense. It was all one take. Um,
Yeah.
and that was sort of the goal of it. And what's funny is that again, we wanted to do it as with the least amount of it's one take in a way that in and of itself is a message. It's performance is one take usually. It's not copying and pasting or comping parts of it. So
Well, that fits with what you were saying in the lyrics about the dualities and stuff. Like you're writing this song about being an artificial intelligence, but the video itself is a live performance. It's a very human experience, and I think that
yeah,
that was a really interesting choice to make. I think
yeah.
it
And
pays
nothing in
off.
the
It's a great
song
video.
was made with AI, and that's important to mention because actually when the song came out,
Yes, it is.
I was there because I guess I'm an unknown artist that all of a sudden just started like published the song and started a social media with on a
Yeah.
blank slate. Like I didn't have social media up until September of 2025. That was the first time
Right.
I opened an Instagram account. um, I think a lot of people assumed that this was an AI song, I guess because the topic was on AI and they didn't know who the artist
Yeah.
was. And so there were
Yeah.
comments online thinking that this was an AI song, which was unfortunate because now we have to prove that we're real human beings on top of it.
Yeah. I know. But, I mean, it is interesting because it goes along with like the message of what you're trying to say a little bit. But
Yeah.
yeah, it is annoying because then you have to go back and be like, no, I promise I'm a real person.
You let it play out. We
Okay,
thought it
that makes, yeah,
We're
why
like, why
not?
let
Yeah,
people get confused? They'll
yeah.
figure it out eventually.
And let them talk about it. That's fine. And you'll just prove them wrong when you continue to release great music. So,
Yeah.
all right, we're going to put that song in now.
I am your algorithm, I'm your question, I'm your answer. I'm your canvas, I'm your stream. I'm all that's in between. I'm your wonder, I'm your soul, I'm your machine. I'm boundless, undiminished. I am vast and I am bold. That's how the story's told. I'm the symphony of all what you hold. I'm your captive, I am free. I'm your dreams in code. And I'm the watch and I am what you fear. I'm all that you know, I am digital art. And my pixelated heart beats to your existence.
Okay, everyone, welcome back. We have another track here. So you released Love Should Feel Good in May. Do you want to talk us through that one?
Love Should Feel Good is a very simple love song. I wrote that song in maybe like 10 minutes. It just happened. I don't know how to explain it, but it just happened. I'd gone through a breakup and I'd already processed it. So I don't think I was in the grieving at that time. I think I was actually feeling quite good. And I expressed it in song format. Don't you know that love should feel good? And how I
Yeah.
came alive when you lost me, boy, and I chose the girl I know. I think that was sort of it sort of wrote itself. But I think it's a very simple song with the exception of one line in there that again wrote
Hmm.
itself. But I think that that is the most poetic line in the entire song. And it's my favorite line, which is my blindness came through the ages. And to me, what that means is that, when we all have blind spots, and our blind spots are, you know, things that we learn about love or things that we learn about life and people, etc. We might choose to see or not see certain things in people. And these blind spots can get us in trouble or
Yeah.
not, but either way, it's almost like we inherit these blind spots. So my blind spots in getting into that relationship was basically inherited. It was came through the ages. It was either, from society, from my parents, from my ancestors, from previous past lives, whatever it may be. So we all sort of
Yeah.
it's not something that I could have looked back and said, you know what, I could have avoided that. I kept making the same mistake as how the song starts, but I realized as I was writing it that I could not have not made that mistake. It was going to happen because
Yeah.
I have those blind spots, and it's part of living my, sort of learning through life, if you will, and
Yeah.
going through what I had to go through. I could not have avoided it, basically.
No, it was a lesson you were destined to learn, and hopefully now you'll break it for whatever's coming next.
I think it's a happy song. I think, that's the thing. It's a breakup song, if you
Yeah.
will, but it's not either. It's not celebrating the breakup. I keep saying that it's not celebrating the breakup, but it's
But it's
definitely
processing it.
it's finding happiness behind it, beyond it. It's basically
Yeah.
realizing that it's not so bad. I mean, at times, not every relationship is destined to last forever. And it's completely okay if you're with someone for a little while. And you know what? Not every relationship is so wonderful either. You might have memories that are maybe not that great, with someone, but that's fine. It's part of life and you move on. And I think really if there is sort of a message behind the song, I think it's
Hmm.
really being able to trust your gut and decide that if you don't feel good in a situation or with someone or in a relationship, don't be scared to kind of jump on the other side of the fence because the grass is going to be, can we say the grass is greener in this sense, but not in, not in that way, but
Different shade of
yeah,
green.
yeah, never to be scared to leave a relationship if you're not feeling good in it, basically. And that I found
Right.
happiness after it.
That's really great. And I think that's a good way to look at relationships past is what have we learned? What have we processed? And how can we grow? All
Yeah.
right. We'll put that one in now too.
that something was wrong. Guess I didn't read on. My blindness came through the ages. I made you feel insecure. You made me feel so unsure. Where did the good times go? You took the highway, I quit the game. You'll only have your ways to blame. I chose the girl I know. Don't you know that love should feel good? Your love should feel darn good. It doesn't kill you to stay. Don't you know that love should feel good? Your love makes you feel good. It doesn't meet you halfway.
Okay, welcome back, everyone. So I wanted to chat a little bit about what your upcoming projects are going to be. So you are gearing up for an album sometime this summer. We're still a little nebulous on the date, which is fair. How do these two tracks fit into the overall structure?
It's a strange album actually, because totally aware,
Okay.
a lot of the times albums have this, one message. It represents a specific chapter in an artist's life or certain ideas that they want to put forward. I think with this album, it's kind of like a collection of fragments and pieces of my life. There's still a thread that runs through the album because every song is a part of me, but it's quite diverse as an album. And these songs that came out are on the A side of the album, and they're sort of
Okay.
probably, I guess, more pop and accessible. And then the album's going to be, it is a pop album. I think, when it comes down to it, it's a pop album. But there are songs in there that are a little bit more jazzy, and then there are songs that are a little bit more, I guess, risky. I Am is about technology. There's a song on the album that is about the environment. There is a song that is about migration. It's not political, but it's very it's like a humanitarian song, if you will. It's an empathetic song. And then there are love songs. There are songs that are more philosophical on the album. There's a song that's quite spiritual on the album. So I think the album is composed of different songs that are all sort of representative of me at the end of the day and what I think about and what keeps me up at night. And the songs that I've written leading up to us picking and choosing from fragments of my life, if you will, to put together an introductory album, because this is the first album that I'm putting out in the world.
Yeah.
So it's really just supposed to be sort of like, here's an album of the type of music that I write and the type of ideas that I believe in, or my thoughts, etc., and sharing that with the world and hoping that people will connect with me as an artist, so I could move on to creating, I guess, albums that maybe have more of a focus. It's spread out. There are songs that are 8 years old. There are songs that are 5 years old, 3 years old. So it's very much a spread, but it fits and it all works together, which is strange.
No, but I think that makes sense then, of it being like, no, this is who I am, this is who I've been, this is where I come from, and this is my first album, and I'm taking you through my life story. So that's
a great way
fair.
of putting it. This is who I was, and this is who I've been, and this is who I am, and hopefully this is what I will become.
Yeah, I think that makes
Absolutely.
sense.
It's exposing myself for the first time ever.
Yeah, putting it all out there so we can start. Yeah, this is me. What's your songwriting process like? So you said your preferred instrument is piano. Do you come up with a melody first, or are you like, do you write the lyrics out? Like, how does this work for you?
Every song is so different. Generally, how it works is that I'm at the piano improvising, and then something comes up, and it writes itself. Generally speaking, most of the time it's by fluke that I write songs. And then and I typically write them in one sitting, but at times it takes longer. There's a song on the album actually that I had written the first part of it at one point, and then I couldn't finish the song. Like, it took me 6 months to finish that song. It didn't take me 6 months to write it. It's just that I put it aside. I came back to it 6 months later, and I completed it. in that sitting. It's just that I wasn't ready yet to somehow figure out how it should go. But typically it's by fluke, or there's an idea that I'm thinking about and it's sort of like turning in my head for a long time, and I'm trying to figure out how to express it. And then again, one day it expresses itself. I've never been so intentional in the writing process, but I am intentional in my editing process. So writing is very free flow for me. It's sort of an improvisation session. It sort of comes together. Melody and lyrics, to answer your question, for me, usually come together. Again, I can change some of the lyrics, but because I feel like the rhythm of the words or the feeling of it just all comes together, mostly in improv.
Yeah.
If anything, there were times, I guess, where I would have a melody in my head and I'd be humming it, and then I'd come to the piano and try to figure it out. Most of the time, it's just I'm improvising anyway, and so melody and lyrics come together at the same time.
What advice do you have for artists trying to break through the noise?
Don't worry about the noise. Do your thing is basically what I would say. I think the noise, just by worrying about the noise, means that you're going to be a part of the noise. If you just worry about yourself, you're going to be yourself. And there's not 5 or 10 of people. You're your one self. There's only one Emily. There's only one Anour.
Only one Anour.
Our job is to be ourselves.
I like that. That's a good point. Yeah, stay true to you and you'll block it out.
Yeah, it seems like cliche advice sometimes, I know, but I feel like it's the only true thing you can do. I mean, art is about honesty, and if we strip it from that, and I think we'll take away all enjoyment if we try to turn it into anything else. It has to be. And anyways, everyone smells through whether something is authentic or not. Like, we have a sixth sense for that as human beings. So by not being yourself, you're doing yourself a disservice.
Absolutely. I totally agree. Once you do it for someone else and you're not doing it for you and you're not doing it for artistic expression, like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
All right. And our last question is always, what is your industry hot take?
Oh my goodness. Okay. So I don't want to mess this one up because I'm not sure it's a hot take.
That's all right.
It's a little bit complex, but I'm going to sound like a conspiracy theorist. I think that AI and the fact that it's coming out after, like now they're coming out after the arts and creators. The reason for that is because they want to silence the future generations, and they want to create a generation of people who are listening to, like, the median of data that's been digested, if you will, or the average of the data that's being digested, because that means that you're not going to have revolutionary ideas, or you're not going to have, I mean, artists and art in general, the purpose and the function of it is to document the times and to reflect the times and inspire ideas and movements. That's what, I mean, music, it has done that over the years, right? Like, so many movements are connected to art and music. And so if we can, if we can average all that out and sort of like create some sort of, there are no extremes anymore. There's nobody that is on the fringe of anything. And if we flood the platforms with so much noise, all this AI content, then we will drown the voices of artists and creators. Yeah. And that is not so much just an economics game, because certainly there's, money involved here. And, that started way before AI anyway. I mean, they were farming royalties essentially with, like pumping playlists with ghost artists. It's been happening for a while. Yeah. But I feel like with AI, it's about the danger with that is not so much just against the artist. It's not. I'm not worried as an artist that AI is going to become so good, because I don't think AI can produce art. I think that
not really.
It's art. Art is definitely not the average of past data. And if anything, art is about if it's about reflecting the present moment, then how do you reflect the present moment with past data? You don't. Which means we're going to have a gap in history as well. We're going to have sort of like a lot of, and I will call it content because it's not art, a lot of content out there, noise, filler, content that we're not consciously listening to, because again, everyone's listening like passively to music these days. I mean, again, this is why I said I don't want to ruin this or mess it up, because there's so many angles.
Yeah.
It's so complex. And I still haven't figured out exactly where I'm at with this, but I think this is a big game that is more of a political game. And it's about control, and it's part of this whole, it goes back to, you can't have a democracy with capitalism. I don't know that
Right.
I think I might be becoming an anti-capitalist, but I'm saying so much already. But
This is
I
right.
feel
This is
like
safe
you
space for
cannot
that.
with capitalism, and this is exactly it. We turned art into an industry, and we're trying to optimize it, and we're trying to shut down the voices of true creators. And unfortunately, this isn't just a fight or a war against artists, but I think it's a fight and a war against humanity. So I don't know, I have very strong feelings about this.
Yeah.
And this is why I said, if I were to write I Am today, it would be a very different song.
It would
And I
be
think there
different.
might be a different song coming about this topic. Most likely.
I don't think you're a conspiracy theorist. I think you are correct. I think that is the point of what we're doing here. Like, someone not in the recording, but like off camera, one of the artists I interviewed said something like, there's been some type of AI around all the time. She thinks that some of the outrage around it now is because they want to be able to point the finger and say like, oh, well, how do you know that that is correct? How do you know that that information isn't doctored? And now we don't know what to trust and we don't know what to believe. So I think that there's definitely like truth to what you're saying. Okay,
Yeah.
let's do our game. So you are Canadian. I am obviously American. This or that Canadian or American artist. So first one, very obvious. Celine Dion.
Canadian.
Canadian. Lana Del Rey.
American.
American. Joni Mitchell.
Canadian.
Canadian, which I did not know until I put this together. I thought she was from California. Grimes.
Montrealer. Canadian.
Yeah, Canadian. Janelle Monáe.
By the name, I would have said French Canadian.
She's American. I know the name is tricky, right? It's French. Drake.
Drake is Canadian.
He is, yes. Shania Twain.
Another Canadian queen.
Another Canadian. Tori Amos.
American.
American. I love her hair, by the way. When I was researching
Isn't that
her, I was
wonderful?
like, damn.
She's like a fairy.
Yes. She really is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Prince.
American.
American. Arcade Fire.
Canadian.
Canadian. I also didn't know this about them.
They're
The
also from
Weeknd.
Montreal. Yeah. The Weeknd is Canadian
They
too.
are, yeah. Noah Khan.
I think Noah Khan is Canadian. If I'm not mistaken, from Toronto. I might be wrong. He's American?
He's from Vermont, so very
Really?
close. Yeah.
That's why I thought he was from Toronto
Yeah,
somehow.
he's from Vermont.
Interesting. Okay.
It's like the same general region.
Yeah.
Alessia Cara.
She's from Toronto or Mississauga or something. She's Canadian.
She is.
Yeah.
She's Canadian. St. Vincent.
She's American.
She is, yes. And Avril Lavigne.
Canadian.
Canadian. And that's our game. That was it. You did really well.
Fun. Thank goodness. I didn't miss your detail.
No, you did a great job.
Canadians, at least.
Yes, exactly. That was a big learning experience for me. I did not realize how many of those artists were Canadian.
Yeah.
When I was like rejoining like popular Canadian musicians, I was like, Joni Mitchell. I could have sworn she was Californian.
Absolutely.
So
We're
so
very,
cool.
very proud of Johnny Mitchell and Celine and all of them.
I love
She's an
that.
artist.
She's great. Oh my God, so important and influential. Okay, so we are out of time, but do you want to tell everyone where they can follow you and what to look out for? Maybe any upcoming dates?
Yeah. All of my social media is I_am_Anour, Anour, Anour. The album is going to come out, I will say August for now. It's going to be announced very soon, so it will be on my social media.
Absolutely.
I think that's it for now. I hope people can enjoy. I mean, my music is everywhere: YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, Deezer,
Yeah.
pretty much everywhere. So whatever their
You got
preference
a couple singles out, so plenty to listen to before they get ready for the album?
I'll say one thing as well. I'll say that there are four songs out. There are 3 singles. One of the singles had a B-side. That's 4. The album has these songs within. The album, the total number of songs in the album is 14 songs. So there are going to be 10 songs coming out in August that have not been heard yet.
Yeah. Well, I'm very excited. Well, Anour, thank you so much. It's been great to meet you and have you on the show. Thank you.
Thank you, Emily. Thank you so much for having me.
Anytime. All right. Thanks, everybody. 'Cause hot girls always win. Thanks for listening to Emily Spins It, presented by the Indie Music Network and Not Dead Yet Media. This episode was produced by Heather de Armas and edited by me, Emily Mills. Our intro and outro music is Hot Girls Always Win by Really Blonde. If you've enjoyed the episode, please support the podcast by sharing, subscribing, and leaving a review. You can also follow the show on Instagram and YouTube at Emily Spins It. For more shows about breaking through the noise, head over to the Indie Music Network podcast. If you have questions or feedback, contact us at notdeadyetmedia.com/contact.